Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The sun is out, the sun is shining, it is warm, it is beautiful. Spring is almost here, and we are still getting college football news, which I love. We got a lot to unpack today. Have some breaking news from coaching changes. 2 in 1 day. You got to love that stuff. We're going to talk all about it. Then Ron Roberts had some things to say in an interview with Sean Kelly. I'm going to pull one little quote which fires me up. But what doesn't fire me up, to be honest with you boys? We're in full-blown lying season. At this point, with the hire that we made today, if you're worried about me being the Disney Gator, because we're locked in. I'm fired up. I'm jazzed up. Love where things are headed. It's good to be here, boys and girls. Real quick, full disclosure. Last night I'm at dinner in St. Augustine. This beautiful specimen walks by. Sure enough, it's Mr. Mark Hawk. I learned it's hockey, not Hawk. It's hockey like the sport. I say, hey, are you Coach Hawk? He goes, yeah, man. Pleasure to meet you. We chit-chatted for a bit, spoke about being fathers. Phenomenal conversation. Phenomenal young man, I guess you could say. Incredible. Great conversation. Go Gators. I told him, I was like, hey, man, when I was leaving, I was like, Gator by a million. He goes, absolutely. So hopefully that transitions into the team. Hopefully they get our message. But let's dive right into it. First order of business. Mr. Jesse Ackerman has been hired by the Florida Gators to now be a part of the strength and conditioning room, to be the Associate Director of Player Performance. These titles, I think Billy just likes to screw with us and just create names to keep us on our toes. But I digress. Even Ron Roberts, they asked him in the interview, Sean Kelly, about his title. He's like, I don't even know what it means. I'm just here to win football games. And I love that. That's exactly what we need, and that's what we want. This is massive, all right? Here's why I say that. A couple things. We're going to look at his resume in just a minute. Great article by Nick Del Toro on 3. Breaks it all down for us. But there is a tweet from Allie, because Allie's got the inside hookup. She knows, you know what I mean? Like she's got the plug. So we just go to Allie for these things. She tweeted out, in quotations, LFG, for the kiddies, it's a bad word in the middle there, one of the best in the business. He's about to put the fear of God into some people. Quote from a former player when I texted with him about this hire. Now, he coached at Florida back in 2015, I think, with Muschamp. And so we know how physical and just the excitement and the fear of God that team brought on defense. Offensively, there was a lot of head scratchers, but defensively, that team was one of the most exciting to watch. So that's a fun one. That's a great correlation. Love the fact, the fear of God. Now, what do we think of the fear of God? What's happening here? When you look at this guy's resume, you're like, yeah. And if you look at him, I mean, he fits the mold. You got a sweaty hoodie on, I'm in. Like, what's up? What are you gonna do to me? You know, just beat me. You know, I'm here. Let's take a look at his resume, though, okay? What I want you to focus on here, Iowa State, which we know what Iowa State, those guys be pumping out just dogs. Texas. Then from 2012 to 2015, he was a Florida Assistant Director of Strength and Conditioning Coaching, which, again, was that Muschamp, I believe, McElwain era, too. I believe we kind of a little mixed match. Then for a year, went to the 75th Ranger Regiment, U.S. Army Strength and Conditioning Coach. I mean, the guy was training the best of the best to go fight for this country. You know what I mean? Where else do you want to go with that? Okay. And he also coached, he was part of the Atlanta Falcons team with Dan Quinn. That team, mind you, I don't remember what year it was, went to the Super Bowl. So he was a part of a Super Bowl winning team, a winning culture, developed those players. That was what was a winning team. Kyle Shanahan had some kahunas and was able to press the pedal down. Falcons would walked away with a victory. Instead, we had one of the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history, 28-3, with Tommy B to get himself his 6th ring, I believe. Maybe it was his 5th. I don't know. The guy wins every other year, so I can't remember. But anyhow, hell of a resume here. Obviously, he was a head performance coach at the XFL just last 2 years ago. Great resume. You heard it from also from a former player from Alley Peak. Really excited about this hire. I believe he's taken over what Tyler Miles was doing. So this was essentially what Tyler was, and then got promoted to what now is the strength and conditioning coach. You know what's going to be funny here? This guy comes in with a ton of experience. I'm already hearing it. I see the comments. They're not even here. It's not even live. That it's another babysitter of sort, right? A guy with a ton of experience coming in, again, to be a headboard for Tyler, to be someone that they can bounce off of. Ultimately, all we care about is winning. I don't care about titles. If these guys want to come in and be a part of something, that should speak volumes, right? It's a guy with a ton of experience is coming in and taking, let's say, a step back in a sense to be a part of something, to be involved with it. I love it. And look, there's an interview that Nick Del Toro posted. This guy looks like no-nonsense business, which when we look at the Trey on Webb interview, when you read the Princely interview, that was something that was lackluster of last year. Was stated that too lackadaisical, not enough grit, not enough, fear of God in a sense. And I feel like the team could use a little bit of that to put a fire under their ass. We're in no need of playing games right now, boys and girls. So love this hire. Love that we're still making some moves. Obviously, we haven't replaced that offensive line coach on-field position yet, so that's still going to be a question mark. And we did also, too, lose today a defensive line assistant, Callie James, I believe is how it's pronounced. He just got promoted this year when Spencer James, or when Coach Chaos was released of his duties, stepped in, did a little bit of recruiting while, we were looking around for that defensive line coach, was promoted to the assistant defensive line coach, or the assistant to, the defensive line coach, but has now taken an on-field role at Jackson State. So kudos to him. Hell of a compliment. Looks like we got to get back on the market again now for another position. But look, again, this speaks volumes. People are going to be frustrated, but he's taking on that next step to move up. It's a good sign. It's a good thing that these guys he moved up with us, and now he's moving up even further to go and be the head coach, which is ultimately what everybody wants to do. So it stings. It sucks. There's just one more thing we have to worry about, but awesome news for him. And I think also, again, it is great that the Florida Gators are constantly pumping out coaches to that next level. So got to be something else we're going to watch over and monitor over the next couple of days of, is there going to be another internal promotion? Are they going to replace that second offensive lineman? Still a lot of things to do. We've got, I think, about a week left until we start heading into that practice and spring ball noise. So we'll see. I think it's going to be, it hasn't been a quiet offseason, I guess you can say. It's been slower, but still a lot is going on. And I don't mind it. We're back. So it feels good. Last little thing here. Ron Roberts. This quote's incredible. Love this quote. Because I love it. Because when we have our Monday show with Stephen Harris on Champ's Corner, this was something we talked about over the last few weeks that Florida lacked. And this is what he kind of states here. What did Florida put on film? What jumped out was the question for Ron Roberts. Ron Roberts responded, one would be, I think we will strike and we will play physical up front. I thought there was some youth. You could see it, the confusion. Let's stop there for a minute. Coach Stephen Harris said that all the time. Just looks like these guys don't know where to go. They look a little confused, a little almost delayed, right? Waiting for something to happen versus, which he's going to say here in a minute, playing with their hair on fire. Very interesting to see that they're seeing the same thing. Well, not interesting, but just patting ourselves on the back here at Hightop Sports. Guys not playing with their hair on fire. I think anytime that happens, you're going to get them to slow down a little bit, which exactly it. It felt like we were playing reactive versus proactive, and that's exactly what this is stating here. Some of it was the youth, I think. I saw a team that runs really well. I think we have the talent, which we've all been stating. I think we're very talented. We have edge rushers and kids who can run the back end. I'm really excited about the roster. All things that we have all agreed on, right? This didn't really, it's a coach's response, but you could definitely read between the lines and say, yeah, look, there's talent there. The athletes are there. What else did we say? The team ran well. It felt like at times that we were in the right position. We weren't executing, whether it was we were just getting outmanned, right? Outstrength. We were just getting pushed around, or it felt like we were in the right position, but nobody was reacting. They were thinking about it too much. And think about the interview we had with Najee Harris, where he wants the game to move a little bit slower for him, where he's not having to think about what's going next and not to worry about technique. He can just go out there and play the game. This is what he's stating that he noticed as well, is that, look, these kids are really good. They're right there. They just need to be able to function and play with the game move slower in their heads, not actually in front of them, right? They're moving slow because they're trying to think about what's next versus just, I'm going here, and letting the rest happen. Look, this wasn't obviously any secrets if we're seeing this, right? Clearly everyone else is seeing it, but it feels good, in my opinion, to hear a coach say, yeah, here's what was going on, here's what's exciting about it, and basically confirming what we're saying. Not we're just talking out of our ass as fans, because sometimes you wonder, like, are we just pulling out of thin air hoping that what we're saying sounds right, or we're pretty spot on? And again, getting confirmation that our conversations are right on path where they should be, that fires me up, and hence why I'm in full-blown lying season, and I'm going to be rowdy and reckless. I mean, I'm already rowdy and reckless, right? Let's not get carried away, but I think now you've just given me the ammo to become even more rowdy and reckless. I promise you, I'm already there, but once we see these guys, and I start seeing practice, and I start seeing these guys hitting somebody, and I'm seeing Merch throwing for a couple tutties, I don't know. I'm ready. I'm ready for some football, boys and girls. I miss it. I love spring ball. I love it. It's good stuff. Boys, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe. Good to see you on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. If anything else happens, you know where we'll be, so turn the bell on. You don't want to miss it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace and love, baby.